Hey, this is Damon with the Black Business Directory with another installment of Conversations, where I get to interview a great entrepreneur in the Knoxville area. And in this episode, I'm speaking with Steve Sudderth, the owner of Steamin Steve's Barbeque Seasonings. Hey, Steve, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me about Steamin Steve's. That's a great name too. I like that.
Yeah. Well, Steamin Steve came from a name that was given to me back when I played high school. There was a photographer for the newspaper took a picture of me running the ball, and the caption on it was Steamin Steve. So that stuck with me throughout the years. And that's the name that I put on my seasonings. And that's how that name came about.
All right, so you must have been a running back.
Actually, I was a receiver. I had caught the ball, and
okay.
I was on my way.
One of those breakout moments.
Yeah.
I hear you. So, have you always been an entrepreneur, or how long have you been in business?
Well, I haven't always been an entrepreneur. My business started in 2017. Is when we actually got started. I've been cooking for many years before that, so it was a thing where I cooked for family and friends. They felt like that I had a good product, and you kind of apprehensive about things for yourself, but then you got people encouraging you. And one of the main persons that encouraged me was my son-in-law to put some of my products out there, and it's just has grown from there.
That's great. Normally people are, food is an interesting thing, especially in the South, barbecue. Everybody, I don't know very many guys who can't cook,
Right.
So when people say, hey, your stuff is really good, I can see where your apprehension came is, well, I know 8 guys who can cook barbecue just as good as I can, or, I'm good, but am I that good to be on the shelves? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now have you all, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that was the thing, too. People will tell you these things, but the thing that convinced it for me was, they was willing to spend money. So once they started spending money, I said, well, maybe I do have something.
Now, have you so you were cooking for many years, just for friends and family, just kind of how we do in the South, just cookouts, etc. Maybe do something for the church. But so have you always made your own seasonings and rubs?
Well, just yes, for myself, and I only had one at the time. I have 6 now, but as I have grown. But I was mainly a person who did hamburgers and ribs, things of that nature. But I have expanded to do other things as the demand has grown. So yes, that's how I started out. It was just with one little seasoning, and then as it grew, things grew with the seasonings as well.
Okay, so you started with one seasoning, and how long before you moved to a second and third?
Well, it wasn't that long, because what really started was the barbecue sauce that I have. When I was cooking for family and friends, I didn't have a barbecue sauce. I was always under the impression that barbecue sauce was to cover your mistakes, and so I tried to perfect a rib that didn't require barbecue sauce. But then there are just some people who it doesn't matter how well it is, they want that barbecue sauce, and so I went into the kitchen and found a recipe and that I came up with that I liked, and that got off into the rubs. I mean, it started off with the barbecue sauce, and then it eased on into the rubs, so because that's what was on the meat that I was preparing.
Okay. All right. So how many? I know formulating a formulation. There's a lot to having products on a shelf. It's not an easy business, and I know this. You've got packaging, you've got design of packaging, you've got formulation, you've got shelf space. You may even be charged for shelf space in some retail establishments. So how has that been for you, that learning process from the first product, getting the first product on the shelf and then moving into other stores, et cetera?
Well, that's where my team comes in. I have a great team behind me. I have my son-in-law, my daughter, and my wife, and we all play different roles. And one of the roles that part of my team plays is finding out these different things like you just asked, because there's there is a learning curve when you first start out. Like we were packaging in cases of 12, but we learned that a lot of store shelves only carry or give you enough room for 6. And so those are some of the things that we had to learn, because we have 5 different seasons, actually 6 now. And so to ask a store to have 12 of those, if they get all 5 or all 6, that's asking a lot. So learning that there is a certain amount of shelf space and curtailing and pivoting to put our cases from 12 to 6 is something that we had to learn.
Yeah. It's a process. It's definitely a process. And so how many stores are you guys in, and how are things going now for you?
Well, we're in stores in Atlanta. We're in stores in South Carolina and in Tennessee. The number escapes me right off the top of my head as far as how many. I know that there's we're in one in Knoxville right now. We're in Chicken City in Knoxville, and then in Nashville we're in a store, and quite a few, like I said, in Atlanta and South Carolina. Here again, that's part of my team's responsibility for that part of it. My part is mostly coming up with these things and making sure that they taste good and able to go well with whatever meat a person is trying to do, or vegetables, because some of our products you can put on vegetables as well. So
nice. Well, I do have your homecoming seasoning. So
great.
Yeah, I do have the homecoming, the new one. And in my house, we don't eat red meat, beef, or pork. But I made some turkey burgers and used it with some turkey burgers, and I was impressed. So then I did a little bit on some chicken. So I liked it. I must say, I like the packaging.
That's the kind of feedback we like to hear. Yeah, it was great.
No, it was good.
That's part of a 4 rub season that we're coming out with. That's the first of the 4. We have coming out next will be our cookback, our kickback, and I think I said cookout.
Yeah.
So
where did you come up with the name Homecoming? I like that.
We came up with that by some of the seasons that we used. We went to Africa to get some of the seasonings, and one of the seasonings that we use in our this particular spice or season is bird's eye chili pepper and grains of paradise. And it's just a mixture of African spices along with the southern spices and our heritage to come up with something for Black history and to how our southern roots and all those things go back. And it was just like coming home. And so that's how we came up with that, mixing those blends and making it taste like like you said, the taste of home.
Okay. That's wow. So you have some African spices in there. I always find I find those putting together seasonings and chefs, etc. Like you guys are like chemists, and so it's very impressive to see people who can blend, multiple things to create a flavor profile. So I just find that very unique. Like I don't have that talent, so that's why I find it unique. Like who would have thought to put this in here and this, or put these two things together, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's just a matter of, for me, it's something that I like, and I hope that there are people out there that like what I like, and enjoying what you do and playing with it, because everything that goes, you put together, I put together, it doesn't always come out right. It's not like I get it right the first time. So, I just continue to play with it and see how it tastes on my palate, see how it tastes on different foods. And so before it goes out to the public, it goes through a lot of R&D. And so it's not the easiest process, but it's something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah. So is there a person in the in your house? Because I'm sure people, you're one of those. You sound like one of those who is always tweaking, and you're like, "Hey, taste this. Hey, this. I'm just trying this out. How does this?" So is there a person in the house that is that ain't it? That ain't it. Is that your wife? That ain't it.
It's just me. Yeah, that's just me and my wife in the house right now. So we're empty nesters. But yes, I call on her taste buds sometimes to taste something, and she lets me know when it's not exactly to her liking. And I also have my daughter. She I send stuff to her to test things out, as well as I have a sister-in-law. So I rely on other people as well, not just my own taste buds, but because I want to make sure that if I put a product out there that it's a very good product.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can, in your head, you can come up with. It's like always getting another person's point of view, because in your head, when you design or create something, it's your creation. You like what you think, and you may be going down a road, and then somebody goes, "You know what? This could take a little bit of this and tweak everything, and make it even better."
Right.
But
they
get enamored.
They'll let me know. They let me know if I should have made a right or a left turn somewhere when I go down that road. They'll let me know if I missed the turn, for sure. Good.
So what did you do? Let me ask you this. What did you do prior to becoming an entrepreneur? So do you do this fully? This your full-time dedication?
Well, not yet. That's where I'm working to. I was in the restaurant business for about 15 years before while I was doing all this stuff, but then I still have I work for a company, and I'm looking to retire pretty soon to go into this full time. But I want to make sure that it has legs up under it, so that I just hit the ground running.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes time. It takes time to build. Several years of, the first couple of years of business, it's really tweaking to see what you got. how your projections
Right.
look, what markets work, what markets don't.
Right.
And then from there, you've got a little historical data. You can begin to tweak the business and know what's, where your money is. And like you say, move from 12 cases to 6 case, those type of things. And your relationships grow. Opportunities are there, or open themselves up. So since you got started in kind of 2017, you were a couple of years before COVID. How has last year, or we're still in COVID, so how has that affected your business?
Well, a lot of things that we were doing as far as how we was trying to get it in the people's hands and mouths were a lot of shows that we used to do that was probably 3,000 and 4,000 people in a building. So a lot of those things got canceled. So we had to learn to, just to pivot our business to where we trying to get more online sales. Because we don't have a store where we have commerce and stuff of that nature. So, and then continue to go to markets and stores to try to get in there that way. So it has been a challenge, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and we continue to try to be encouraged by the fact that there may be a new way of having to go about our lives, and we just have to pivot and make sure that we make the needed adjustments to continue to thrive.
Okay. I think that's interesting. I did notice that on your social media that you guys did do a lot of shows. I think that's a brilliant way. I think that's a brilliant way to get people familiar with the seasonings or with the product.
Exactly. And
versus
that's
pushing it.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, we're just, it was a nice way to get it in people's mouths. Get in, have a contact with people, and then they're leaving their contact information, and we get a lot of response, a positive response, and how the people can, if they're not able to find us in a store, you can always get it online through us. So it was a nice way to try to break in to the business and to get legs up under us to take it to that next level. But like I said, because of COVID, that sort of thing has slowed down. But we're looking forward to, if not this year, especially 2022, a lot of the shows are going to come back, and we're just trying to, like I said, keep a positive attitude and do other things to get to that point.
Yeah. You just gotta keep going. I mean, this is unprecedented. This is unprecedented for everybody, right? Like, big brands had to shift and are dying, and small companies had to figure out a new way to do things. And so I think we'll be okay. Just keeping on.
Yeah.
But what can you do, right? Like, I mean, there is nothing you can do. So I think if we just make the shift, pivot, see where there is an opportunity, and then just keep going from there. But I do think what you guys are doing is brilliant. I love that with the show, going to the shows, because the people, most products are not real. Like, and I mean by that is you have no connection with it when you see it on the shelf. You see, a seasoning, you just, this may be good, and you just try it. But if I met you and said, oh, this is at Steve's, I'm always looking for the Steve's. Steamin' Steve's, if I've, made a connection with you. Plus, you can grow. You've got my information, so, you can send me a little small package and say, hey, this is some new stuff that we've got coming online. If you like it, check us out.
Exactly. And see, that was another reason behind the show thing, doing the shows. People are able to see that we are real, and that a lot of people like to know your story, just like what's going on here, to how you got started, and different things of that nature. And it just builds a relationship with people. And before this COVID thing hit, we had gone to a couple shows, and people were excited to make sure that we came back, because they really enjoyed our product, and sometimes that was the only way that they could get it. But they really like the story behind it all, and having that, like I said, that personal relationship to just let people know that there is a real Steamin' Steve out there.
Not just a picture somebody created of some fictional black person who does barbecue sauce or seasonings, right?
Exactly.
We've seen those. We've seen those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have. Yes, we have.
But here's a real live in the flesh person you can touch and feel and have a connection with. So I think that's brilliant. High touch in this new world, because a lot of people, one of the things is people think online is just online, but online is still high touch too.
Right.
So if you creating a tribe around you and the seasonings, it'll grow. It'll grow for sure.
And people like the fact that we're local. So all those things, combination of things, that it really helps, like I said, develop that relationship, and people respond.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's do this. So let's tell the people where they can find you locally, and they can find you online, so that they can purchase these seasons.
Well, on line or in Knoxville, like I said, we're in Chicken City, and also in Maryville at the Village Tinker. And online, you can get our product at www.steaminsteves.com. All
right. So is there anything else you want to leave with the people? I think this will be a good place for us to wrap up here.
Okay.
Because I know you're busy and got seasonings to go test and taste.
Exactly.
But is there anything? But is there anything you want to leave with the people?
Yes. People always ask me which one did I like personally, which one I like best, and I always tell them the next one. And so, with that in mind, I just want people to understand to stay tuned, because there is a next one coming out.
Well, you definitely got a client in me, so I'm going to be looking for them. Now, are all of them in Chicken City, or is it just several of them?
Yes, all 6 of my seasonings are in Chicken City, and I also have 3 barbecue sauces that are also there.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to definitely check them out. I'll definitely check them out. So,
all right.
Well, I appreciate you, Steve, for getting on here with us and just having this chat. Yeah, absolutely, and letting us know about the company. So, folks, go check him out. Buy local, buy black. Support this great company doing great work. I have tasted the product. It is real deal, so I can definitely say that myself. And thank you all for listening. This show is brought to you by our sponsors, so check out our sponsors, and we'll just be here for the next episode. So have a great rest of your day, guys.